For me, social anxiety feels like whenever I walk in a room, people are judging me before, I even speak.
It's a lot of questions and my mind's going like 1,000 miles an hour.
Am I saying the right things? Am I feeling the right way? Am I presenting myself the right way that I need to be, instead of just allowing myself the compassion and the empathy to just show up as I am?
It can be like, why did I say that? Like, that was stupid. They're going to not respond well to that. Oh, they're not like smiling or engaging back. They didn't like what I was saying. Like, they think I'm stupid now.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jessica Yu. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist and senior director of patient experience at Hims & Hers. Social anxiety disorder is a type of anxiety disorder that affects about 12% of the US adult population at some point in their lives. It's characterized by an intense fear of being watched and judged by others, and it can manifest in different ways. It can cause people to avoid public situations or social situations. It can make them really nervous when they do things like talk in front of people or engage in public speaking events. It can make it really hard for them to make new social connections and form lasting social connections. Most of us experience some amount of social anxiety from time to time. We might get nervous when we're meeting a new person. We might get nervous when we're about to speak at a public event. Social anxiety disorder, though, is typically diagnosed when there's a persistent anxiety around being around other people. It gets in the way of daily tasks, daily functioning, things like work. It might make it really hard for a person to attend work meetings because they're so afraid of being around their colleagues, of being watched or judged by their colleagues. It might make it really hard for them to engage in different work tasks in which they have to interact with others. And it might actually hold them back.
And a lot of times it'll keep me from entering spaces that I feel like I should be in, that I work hard to be in, but I can't feel comfortable in, just because my own thoughts. It started, going to school. I would be late to school, and instead of me walking into the classroom, I would skip, because I didn't want to walk in with that pressure of being judged. So I would just skip 2 classes just to not have to walk in late and feel that.
I was always a social person. Working from home now, I'm obviously not engaging a lot with people as much. So I will say, when we have company offsites and things like that, there is this sense of anxiety. I'm like, for 5 days, I'm gonna be with these people. How do I have conversations? How do I dress?
For me, it's like, oh, people are laughing at you. You look so weird. Why are you walking like that? And then other times, my anxiety would be, I need to go home and change right now. Like, I would miss trains because my mind's like, if you don't go home and change, people are gonna make fun of you.
When I ask my patients to describe social anxiety to me, they often tell me that it makes it really hard for them to do things like make eye contact with people, to talk to people that they haven't spoken to before, to go to social events, to receive invitations, take those invitations and go to social events.
My anxiety has impacted my personal relationships to the point where I get nervous, even if I'm hanging out with people I know since high school. I get like I'm silent during the whole thing. My boyfriend would look at me like, come on, talk. And I'm just like, I don't know what to say. I feel like I'm not interesting enough for them, or the stuff I'm doing is boring, even though it's just menial work and school stuff. I have a really hard time allowing myself to be present in a space where I'm interacting with other people. I tend to overthink in that moment.
They might go to the social events, but leave early. Or they might just feel really, really stressed out while they're engaging in those things. They also tell me that the anxiety feels really awful. When they're in these social situations, they might notice themselves with their heart pounding. They might find themselves sweating a lot or trembling because they're so nervous.
The kind of feelings that I would go through would be not being able to be present in my body because I was so focused on how I was being perceived by other people, or the tremble in my voice or the shaking of my hands. I think for me, anxiety could be a very physical thing where it's I would all of a sudden start sweating a lot, or my hands are shaking or my voice is trembling.
When I have really bad panic attacks, I tend to think that when everyone's laughing, they could be laughing to their friend talking, I always think that they're laughing at me. Even if it's I'm walking down the subway station, I think that they're laughing at me. But it's just everyone's weird.
Social anxiety disorder can make it really hard to engage in social events to form lasting and meaningful relationships. But the good news is that there are some great evidence-based therapies available to help people in need. Cognitive behavioral therapy is one of those evidence-based interventions. In cognitive behavioral therapy, a therapist will use a technique called exposure, and the therapist will help you gradually confront those situations, those peoples, those places that you find so anxiety-provoking. And it'll help you become more confident in your ability to overcome the anxiety and manage those events. To manage social anxiety in the moment, I always encourage people to engage in things like mindfulness. It's a way to stay really present in the moment, to stay present in the situation without getting too caught up in it, without getting too attached to it. It helps produce a sense of calm.
I know people say get out of your head, but you're there all day 24/7. It's not really hard. It's not really easy to do that. I would just say silence all of the extra noise that's telling you that you can't do these things.
There are other things too that you can try, like engaging in events that you actually enjoy, however small they may be. It might be that you enjoy coffee dates with a close friend of yours. It might be that you simply like talking on the phone with somebody that you know. Expose yourself to these things little by little, and it'll help you become more confident and help you overcome your social anxiety. Other things I tell people are to expose themselves gradually to the things that make them anxious. And this can be done in a number of ways. If you're feeling really anxious about something, it might mean just starting to approach somebody, right? Make eye contact, share a smile, maybe utter the word hello, and slowly build up to the point where you're more confident about doing things like inviting a friend to a coffee date or some other kind of event. And remember to embrace the existing relationships that you have. Really lean into the friendships, the social relationships that you have, because this is indeed a form of ongoing exposure, and it'll help you build that momentum so that you can overcome your social anxiety. Human beings are social creatures. We were meant to interact with other people. And so having those meaningful relationships will help us maintain our mood, help us lift our spirits, really prevent things like anxiety, depression, and otherwise.
Yeah, I think something else that was really useful for me when I'm feeling anxious is to remember that at the end of the day, we don't exist to be liked by everyone. That's not why we're here. We are here to find joy and happiness in our own lives for ourselves and to, bring that joy and happiness and love to our community and the people around us. And if we do that, that's enough.
I think awareness is always helpful. And so if you notice that you get nervous in front of people or in social situations, use that awareness, see if you're interested or need something like therapy, and start to pursue it. If you're dealing with any kind of anxiety, stress, or mental health concern, which is just remember to take care of yourself in small ways. And by that, I mean, remember to do the basic things like eat well, exercise, get adequate amounts of sleep, engage in pleasurable events, things that make you feel good. If you have that self-care basis, it makes dealing with things like social anxiety that much easier.
A life without social anxiety would really be a life of like a nice, comfortable quiet. It would be a life where I could actually like go outside and take my dog on a walk without being afraid of how many people I'm gonna cross paths with from just my house to the park.
I would be unstoppable. It would feel like the sunshine on my face. It would feel like payday every day. It would feel like a hug, like a permanent hug. It would just feel amazing.
Life without anxiety would feel like serenity.
It would be a life where I would laugh more without worrying if my laugh was outrageous. It would honestly be a life where I was a little bit happier because I wouldn't be worried so much about what's going on inside of my brain.